Islam provides a comprehensive worldview that places a strong emphasis on environmental stewardship. The Islamic perspective on climate change and pollution is not a modern addition but is deeply rooted in its core theological and ethical teachings. Here's a breakdown of how Islam sees climate change and pollution, based on the Quran, the teachings of Prophet Muhammad, Sunnah, and the understanding of Islamic scholars. 1. The foundation, core Islamic principles. Several key concepts form the basis of the Islamic environmental ethic. Tawhid, oneness of God. This is the central principle of Islam. It means that all creation, including humans, animals, and the natural world, is united in its origin from and submission to the one God. The universe is seen as a balanced, integrated, and purposeful creation, Mizan. Destroying the environment is a disruption of this divine balance. Quranic reference. He raised the heaven and established the balance, so that you would not transgress the balance. Quran 55, 7-8. Khilafah, stewardship. Humans are not owners of the earth, but Khalifa, vicegerents, trustees, or stewards. This is a position of immense responsibility, not dominion. We are tasked with caring for the earth on behalf of its true owner, God, and will be held accountable for how we treated this trust. Quranic reference. It is he who has appointed you vicegerent, Khalifa, on the earth. Quran 6, 165. Amana, trust. The earth is a sacred trust, amana, from God that we must protect and hand over to future generations in a healthy state. Pollution and environmental destruction are a betrayal of this trust. Akhirah, accountability in the hereafter. Islam teaches that everyone will be held accountable for their actions on the Day of Judgment. This includes how we treated the environment. Wasting resources, polluting water, and causing corruption on earth are considered sins. 2. Specific teachings on nature and resources. The Quran and Sunnah are filled with directives that directly relate to modern environmental issues. On conservation and avoiding waste, israf. The Quran repeatedly condemns waste and excess. Eat and drink, but do not waste. Indeed, he does not like the wasteful. Quran 7:31. This applies to water, food, energy, and all natural resources. Letting a tap run unnecessarily, using more energy than required, or overconsuming are seen as acts of ingratitude and wastefulness. On protecting all life, Islam teaches compassion for all living creatures. Prophet Muhammad said, if a Muslim plants a tree or sows seeds, and then a bird, or a person or an animal eats from it, it is regarded as a charitable gift, sadaqah, for him. Sahih al-Bukhari. He also forbade the cutting of trees, even during wartime. All species form communities, just like humans. There is not an animal on earth, nor a bird that flies on its wings, but they are communities like you. Quran 6:38. On pollution and harm, dara, a central legal maxim in Islamic law is, la dara wa la dara, do not harm, and do not reciprocate harm. Causing pollution that harms people, animals, or ecosystems is a direct violation of this principle. This includes air pollution from factories, water pollution from industrial waste, and plastic pollution that harms marine life. 3. The modern Islamic position on climate change. In recent decades, Islamic scholars and institutions have explicitly applied these classical principles to the modern crisis of climate change. The Islamic Declaration on Global Climate Change, 2015, drafted by prominent Muslim scholars and leaders, this declaration is a powerful call to action. It urges well-off nations and oil-producing states to lead the way in phasing out greenhouse gas emissions. calls for a transition to 100% renewable energy. Appeals to all Muslims worldwide to play an active role in combating climate change, based on their faith. States that the current crisis is a consequence of humanity's failure to live as stewards. Fatwas, legal opinions. Several Islamic councils have issued fatwas declaring that protecting the environment is a fard, religious obligation, and that actions leading to climate change are sinful. Focus on justice. Adl, Islamic discourse on climate change heavily emphasizes justice. The poor and vulnerable, who have contributed the least to the problem, are disproportionately affected by its impacts: droughts, floods, famines. Addressing this injustice is a core Islamic duty. From an Islamic perspective, climate change and pollution are a theological issue, a sign of humanity's disconnect from God and our role as stewards. An ethical issue, a result of greed, overconsumption, and the violation of the trust placed in us. A legal issue, Sharia, actions that cause environmental damage are considered haram, forbidden, because they cause corruption, fasad, on earth. A call to action. Muslims are required to change personal lifestyles, consume less, waste less, and be mindful of their ecological footprint. Advocate for change. Call on businesses and governments to adopt sustainable practices. Promote education. Raise awareness about the Islamic duty to protect the planet. Support sustainable development. Invest in and transition to renewable energy and conservation projects. In essence, for a Muslim, caring for the environment is not just a political or social issue, it is an integral part of faith and worship, ibadah. It is a way to obey God, fulfill the trust of stewardship, and ensure justice for all of creation and future generations.